Ron Bitner, Bitner Vineyards. My wife Mary and I have Bitner Vineyards here. Started planting these grapes in 1980, and Chappelle had just put their winery in. And people thought, what are we doing planting wine grapes in 1980? And so that project is turning out well. I'm trying to retire as a bee biologist and just devote all of my time to the winery here with my wife. We're having a blast with it. This year I came home with another project, and she kind of looked at me. I've got a friend, Paul Beckman, took me to the truffle conference in Eugene this year, and I came back convinced that's the next crop for the sunny slope of Idaho here. So what I've got planted over here is 1 acre of hazelnuts and white oak that are infused with the French black truffle spore. 5-6 years out, hopefully we'll be digging truffles to serve on our deck with our great Chardonnays here. So that project's coming along. I'm involved with Sunny Slope Food and Wine Company, first custom crush facility here in Idaho. We're working on that right now. So industry's been great this year.
It seems like you just kind of go from one project to the next. You think that you're moving away and kind of slowing down, and then another opportunity comes up and here you go again.
Well, they're all interconnected, you know, and I'm a native of the area, and what's been great for me is trying to keep this area rural. The Polo Cove project is part of that. This past year I've worked for Canyon County Rural Economic Development, and that's the focus of that, is keeping Canyon County rural. And during this past year we've got a scenic byway established now. This is the first ag scenic byway in the state. It's the 28th one. But tagged with that will be the winery signs. We've never had those wine tourist signs out there. And so we're finally getting the signs out to the wineries. 2 more wineries this summer out here. Gina Davis and Maselli over here are open now. So after 27 years, it's finally catching on. It's exciting for me. So it's a fun time.
And when you planted in '80, what was it? Just you and St. Chappelle?
Well, St. Chappelle, the first winemaker for St. Chappelle, Bill Broach, built his house below us here. And he came up one day, and I'd bought the property for the view of the Snake River, and scratching my head wondering what I was going to do with this steep hillside. It was sagebrush and weeds then. And he said, Ron, you've got a world-class site for Chardonnay. And oh, that's cool, Bill. What's Chardonnay? Because I didn't even have a clue about wine grapes back then. But as it turned out, we do have one of the great sites here in Idaho. The Sims family has another 60, 70 acres planted out there. And they've got the Snake River down there, and with the appellation last year, been a lot of excitement around that. We've had people actually seek us out for that Snake River Valley ABA. The other thing is we're halfway between Salt Lake and Walla Walla, and we've been discovered by Salt Lake, and a lot of people aren't traveling as far, and we get groups here from Salt Lake every weekend. So tasting room, we just went to Fridays. All the wineries out here we're open Friday, Saturday, and Sundays, noon to 5. Mary did a lot of events at the college, and it's Friday night, we're doing Grapes of Wrath out here on our deck. We show old movies on the deck and serve dinners. Friday night we've got Doc Chalk, who's an authority on chocolates from around the world, talking about chocolates and matching those up with our red wines. We've got a classical guitarist playing out here 2 or 3 nights, and so a lot of what we're doing here, I have to give credit to John Bookwalder and Jerry with what they've done up there. We've come back and seen how they've not only just done a tasting room, but they're having a lot of fun with it and tying it up with music and events. And I guess that's what we're all about right now, too. I have 6 acres around the winery here, and then I have another 10 acres that's up 2 miles from here that was part of the original 180 that I helped plant for that site up there. So we planted those in 1981. At the time, Chappelle was just contracting with Riesling and some Chardonnay. Right now I just have this 2 acres of Chardonnay, 5 acres of Riesling. The rest we've got in our Cabernets, Merlot, Petit Verdot, and Shiraz. I call it Shiraz. I spend a lot of time in Australia, and that's what the Aussies call it. So those are our varietals. My vineyards are planted. When we do our blends, it's what I call a vineyard blend, because it's what I planted over the years based on some of my likings of wine in Australia. We've been most blessed to have Greg Koenig as our wine maker since 1995. He contacted us in '95 when he first came out here, and I was in Australia and was taking messages, and he said he had a new winery on Plum Road, and I knew there wasn't one here, so I blew him off for about a month till I got home, and finally met the young man, and we've had a great relationship ever since. You know, I enjoy growing the grapes, and he and I spend a lot of time in the vineyards, and you know, he's put us on the map out there with us. He says, you know, as long as I deliver the kind of fruit I do, he just tries not to mess them up. But yeah, the young man has a real talent. We're fortunate to have him as our winemaker.
He seems to have a nose for where the great grapes are going to be.
He does, you know. For being an architect that was trained at Notre Dame, his winemaking capabilities have been tremendous. As part of our Sunny Slope Wine Company, we've brought up several consultants out of California and to bring in some extra help for us. And this last fellow, Mark Cummins, I think he's working at Iron Horse right now. You know, after tasting Greg's wines, he said, "You guys don't need me," you know. He said, you know.